I was looking for somebody to talk Olympics. Everybody I know who's covering the Olympics is at the Olympics, so they're kind of busy. And I thought, I'll bet that Rod Brind'Amour is digging the Summer Olympic Games, so we took a shot. So our Olympic correspondent, Rod Brind'Amour, head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, is joining us on the Adam Gold Show. I was pleased to know that you are taking basically all of it in.
All of it. I mean, I don't know what that says about me, but I think this time of year, I spend a few hours at the rink in the morning, and then I come home and what's on is perfect. It's everything. There's 4 channels you can flip around, and it's such a. I mean, Olympics. The stakes are so high. That's what I love about it, and it's all the events because these guys put women, men put so much into these events, and they matter so much to them, and that's why I love it.
Rod Brind'Amour is joining us here. Just your own experience, right? And I always kind of draw the line that if it's not the pinnacle of your sport, it probably shouldn't be in the Olympics. But I think the hockey players have there's nothing bigger than the Stanley Cup, but while it's different and maybe not as big, it's an enormous honor to play for your country. How do you put that into words?
Well, no doubt about it. I don't care, like I say, what sport is. If you're playing for your country, and like I say, this happens every 4 years, it's a big deal. And, the hockey part, I think, is great because these guys all wanted to do it. They all want to participate because they have the same feelings I do about it. And, it's not as big as the Stanley Cup, that's for sure, but it's being right there, and it's a great experience, and that's another part. So I'm happy that the guys are going to be able to get back at it and do that. I still think they should be doing it now.
Right.
It just blows up the whole hockey season, and there's no reason for it. It'd be just about getting ready for training camp anyway. So I don't like that argument about they have to have it in the winter because it just doesn't make any sense.
Right, because
it get blown up like that, but
because it's ice.
Sidebar, it's great. It's great that they're going back.
Yeah, look, it's the most fun. I think that as much as there's nothing quite like the Stanley Cup and the playoffs and all of that. I think Olympic hockey, because of the short nature of the tournament, it's so much fun to watch them play. Theoretically, it should be a less physical game with bigger ice, which I guess is probably good considering you don't want anybody to get hurt. But heck, Eric Staal got hurt, and we talked to Eric last week. He got hurt at the World Championships, what was it, maybe 15 years ago, and I'm not sure he was ever fully the same player on a regular basis after that. That's another topic for another time. Is there an Olympic sport that you think that you would have been good at one point?
So we had this debate at dinner the other night as a family because I'm like, man, if I didn't play, what could I do? I always say, okay, what? And I'm like, I'm looking at all these sports and I'm like, nope, can't do that. And then I'm like, and then I saw some of these like the kayaking and the rowing. I'm like, I think I could get in there and if I trained out, maybe I could have been able to do that or something. The short track biking,
right.
I don't know what they call it, but it's not short, but the indoor with the. I feel like there's something there that could have happened, but obviously that's a pipe dream.
Well, first of all, I got to give Graham Hill some credit here. We were trying to figure out what your favorite event might be, and I'm not sure it's your favorite event. And Graham said kayaking. So the
well, no, listen, it's not my favorite event to watch. You just said what I could possibly get away with.
So,
but there's a lot of cool events that I never thought I'd watch. I even started watching the rock climbing or something.
Yeah, speed climbing.
I thought, holy mackerel! I started watching that. That actually was pretty intense. So
yeah,
it's a great time of year, no matter what.
So Graham is taking it as a win anyway. Gymnastics. See, I figured that I don't know about the pommel horse, but I could see you on the rings. I think those are the strongest people I have ever seen in my entire life. Yeah. I don't know how their arms don't detach from their bodies. Their ligaments and their rotator cuffs must be made of rubber. I don't like when you watch that. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think the same. I'm amazed but I also know that there's some, it's height and weight restrictions there. You can't be, a big dude and expect to be able to hold yourself up like that. That's not happening. So, they are amazing though, and I'm glad it's kind of their time to shine, because I think, we don't really talk about that stuff too much, or certainly don't watch it when it's not on every 4 years. But they were amazing athletes, and I'm glad they get their due time. What
has caught your eye? What have you enjoyed? I mean, you say you're watching everything. What has been the biggest memory? I do like all of it. The track stuff I really enjoy because there's instant, right? Like, whether it's a sprint or even like the 1500 the other night was amazing. That to me, I don't know if you saw that one. I did.
The guy, no one was talking about him, right? I think it's Hawker or whatever.
Yep, Hawker, Cole Hawker, right?
The three guys, and I'm like, okay, and then I don't know these guys, but I'm watching the Norwegian guy, and all of a sudden I see this guy comes out of nowhere and just. And I love the reaction of the dad. I don't know if you saw that in the stands.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like that can happen in the Olympics, right? And I think it's amazing. So I really enjoy watching those events. So that's kind of the ones that we like as a family too. We're like, okay, we gotta watch this stuff because it's pretty exciting. But we watch it all, and it's exciting. Like I said,
that event, I was watching it as well, because the whole buildup was the reigning Olympic champion, the guy from Norway, and the reigning world champion, the guy from Great Britain, who clearly hate each other, and they're talking junk to each other through the media and all of that. And then this little guy with a ponytail catches them both and passes them both. The kid from Norway didn't even medal. The United States got 2 medals there.
Right. Yeah, that can happen. Even the other night, I think it was 400 last night. Like, the guy came out of nowhere.
Yep.
And it's a great picture of that. I mean, just perseverance. I don't care. I know they're all in great shape, but that guy just wanted it more. I mean, at the end, he just gritted it out and pulls ahead. And so that's the stuff that I just love it. And I love seeing these guys achieve. They put in all this work.
Yeah.
We don't see years and years of work for that moment, and they rise to the occasion. That's pretty cool.
Is there an event that you have watched that you go, why is that in the Olympics?
Yeah, there are a couple. I'm not going to tell you that.
Okay. I'll tell you one. I'll tell you one that I don't understand why it's in the Olympics. Well, I know why it's in the Olympics, but I don't get it. Beach volleyball.
What? No, I like that.
Whether I like it or not doesn't even matter. It's in like volleyball. First, I love the regular volleyball.
Yeah.
Like, I remember watching that in 1984 in Los Angeles. In fact, the coach of the U.S. team, Coach Karai, was essentially the star of that team in '84. And after those Olympics, they decided, man, these guys are kind of like stars, and the women, they're kind of like stars. So they went and played beach volleyball. Suntan lotion companies paid them a whole bunch of money because they were all wearing like bikinis and short pants. And so it became very popular. And then the Olympics, never mind, I don't have to get on my soapbox about the Olympics is really just about making money, other than the normal events. Have you watched any equestrian?
Of course. I mean, we're flipping around, and at first I was just what you said about that sport. Like, what is that doing in there? But because it's you think it's the horse that should get the medal.
I agree. It should be the horse.
But then I watched, I don't know what it was, the shot. I can't even say the word right, but they started getting these horse to dudes like almost dancing out there, and
yes,
switching gaits halfway through. I was like, what? When you start actually appreciating what's going on now, I don't know if it's a sport. I don't know what you want to call it, but I mean, that's impressive. So I thought that was cool. I don't really, it's not one of my favorite things to watch, but it is impressive nonetheless.
Well, my wife owns horses, and that's what she did as a kid growing up. So I've also started to watch the dressage, which is what you're referring to, the ballroom dancing for horses.
Yeah.
And it's great. If you're inclined, go watch Snoop Dogg and his first experience watching that last year. It is absolutely hysterical to see how they have reacted to this. Have you watched much of the basketball at all?
Not really, and I mean, actually, you just said I just flipped it. I just got home, so if the games are close, I watch. But I did hear you say before we got on, like they're gonna whatever. So Germany and France playing. Whoever wins, now we don't know what medal they're getting. We know what medal they're getting. Come on, you know. Like, that's the only part about it. I just wish it was like closer, right? Like there's this is a slam dunk here. The U.S. is just way too good, and I know it could happen in one game, right?
Sure,
but come on, we're like, so it's hard to watch when you already kind of, they're blowing teams out the way they are. So, because I do love the fact that in the Olympics you never know, but you kind of know. Even with the hockey, like what I love about the hockey now, you don't know what country's going to win. There's 6 or 7 that could legitimately win, and so that's what piques your interest a little more. So that's kind of why I don't really haven't watched a lot of basketball.
By the way, France is trying like very hard to not win this game. They had a 13-point lead at one point late in the fourth quarter. It is down to 2, and France is at the free throw line. Victor Wembanyama's got a couple of shots to extend, and he missed the first one. Before I let you go, Rod Brind'Amour, head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, because I got to ask you at least one thing about Martin Necas and his contract. He's back. And I know you're excited about his return. What are your expectations for Marty and how you're going to use him? What he wants out of this year, next year, and the rest of his career?
Yeah, you've done a lot of airtime on this one.
I have
over the last month, and which is great. I think. Look, we know how good a hockey player he is. He's got immense talent, and it's just up to him and myself to bring that out every night, and so that's kind of where we're at. And now that we took a hit up front a little bit, obviously lost some pretty good players, but we've had these other good players kind of too that we, maybe didn't use as much, and Marty's maybe one of them, maybe now I don't have to think about having 2 power play units. I'm going to have 1. You know, and it's going to be obvious which one in, and he's going to be on it. And so does that bump him up a little bit and make, give him a little more what he wanted? Of course, everybody wants to be on the so-called number 1 power play unit.
Right.
So, you hope that he can contribute more there. I know he's talked about wanting to kill penalties. Well, okay, that's fine. And you just have to be able to do it better than the other 6 guys we use. And so that'll be an option for him. But then there's, he's already running at 18 minutes or close to it. So, we definitely want what we've seen of him. He's a game changer, especially at certain times of the game.
Yep.
And we just need that maybe a little more throughout the course of the game and throughout the, a little more consistent throughout the games per se. So that's what I'm hoping that we get out of him. And I know that's what he wants to do.
All right. Since you've heard me talk about Marty, like, I do believe, and this is just my read from spending the time that I have spent with him, which is not nearly as much as you have. I think he wants to be great. I think he's been maybe not frustrated by, like some of the things that have happened around him, I think have gotten to him over the years. But I liked his game in the postseason. I thought he was different. Playing him with Jack and Jordan Martinook, I think, was good for him. I thought that was the best version of him. He could have probably scored a little bit more, but I don't know that line could have gotten a ton more out of themselves offensively. I thought they were really effective together, but I thought it was the best version that we have seen from him in terms of the style that he played.
Yeah, and I think what you're referring to is basically playing playoff hockey, and you're going to have to be a little more physical and get to the net a little more, and or at least have a willingness to do that, right? So that is what I guess we're on the same page with, and I think deep down he knows that's what has to happen. And like again, it's like any athlete, it's it's what you're willing to do, right? So we gotta find that happy medium where we can get that out of him every night because we know how good he is. I mean, we're not taking away those end-to-end rushes and all that fancy stuff that he's capable of doing. It's there's still another part of the game that hopefully we can get out of him.
All right. Do you think you could pole vault?
No, that's an amazing one. I don't understand. Well, the one thing we talk about as a family all the time is the guy that won, the Swedish guy.
Yeah.
But he's trained and he lived in the U.S. his whole life.
Yeah.
And then there's something that's weird about that whole thing. I don't know. He's not Swedish, man. I mean, I don't know. There's a story there somehow why he doesn't compete for U.S., I guess. But
I think it's one of his parents is from Sweden, I guess.
Right, but he's grown up and born, and there's nothing Swedish about him, right? Like, he didn't train over there. I don't know. Maybe.
No, he trained at LSU.
Yeah, and both parents went to LSU. Anyway, that was a weird one for me. But yeah, I could never do that. I'm afraid of heights to begin with. So
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize you were afraid of heights.
That is an amazing. You think about that whole event right there. That's pretty amazing what they're doing. So
they're amazing. All these athletes are amazing. I have total respect. I watch all of it as well. Rod Brind'Amour, Carolina Hurricanes head coach, our Olympic correspondent. I appreciate your time. I'll check in again soon.
Hey, brother.
All right, man. Take care. Rod Brind'Amour here on the Adam Gold Show.